Welcome to the Inkwell, where we share insights and best practices on the big topics affecting HR professionals. I'm Emily Miller, and I'm here today talking to some members of the Purple Ink team about artificial intelligence.
I'm Jody Curtis, and I'm the owner and founder of Purple Ink.
Hi, I'm Michelle Callan, and I serve as the Director of Learning and Development at Purple.
AI is one of the most talked about topics in HR and everywhere else right now. And today we're going to talk about how we can balance innovation with the human experience. And Michelle, where do you see AI making the biggest impact on HR teams in the next few years?
Well, one of the key areas is how do we use AI for some of those more routine things so that we can really focus on those those people skills, those critical thinking skills. I heard an analogy the other day about AI and I thought it was terrific. It's the same idea of an intern. You've got this fantastic intern, right? They are on it. They are amazing and they can do all kinds of things, do it fast, do it efficiently, bring some new ideas. At the same time, you're not going to turn over to a brand new intern all of the key major decision making of your organization, right? And so it's the same idea with how we utilize AI. I think it's important though that we're very aware of the fact that what we don't want to do is automate the same old processes, right? This is a perfect time
Mhm.
for us to evaluate the
Yeah.
process that we have and is it the right process? Let's think differently and do differently based on what AI can help us achieve.
And Jody, how can HR use AI without losing the human connection that matters the most?
When we need things like empathy and creating trust and judgment, that's where we have to have humans, right? To stay in the front and center. And again, if we can automate some of those things that AI can do quicker, better, faster than we could ourselves, that gives us time to think about building relationships and making more thoughtful decisions or having more information in front of us that can help us to make those decisions. Then that can actually strengthen the human side of it. But we don't want AI to become the voice of HR, right? We don't want them speaking in generic terms to people because that's going to get impersonal very quickly.
And one of those ethical concerns that we hear a lot about is the possibility of AI bringing bias into recruiting processes in particular. So, Jody, what role should AI play in resume screening, and where should humans always stay involved?
The reality to me is that if you have rightfully determined, for example, that your position needs someone with a master's degree and a certification in a particular software knowledge. We were looking for those when we were screening resumes before, right? It's just that AI is doing that exact same thing a whole lot faster. So I don't think there's any bias if you have very clear parameters about what you're looking
Right.
for. So I think the early stages of recruiting, AI can be, just a gem to have to make that process faster. Ironically, I think too that AI has made the AI and some savvy HR people have made the application process for most jobs much more easy to apply to. So there are more candidates for every position out there as well too, because sometimes all you have to do is click and upload your LinkedIn profile, for example. But obviously, the farther along the process goes, or maybe for the more subjective parts of the process of, yes, spending more time looking at what kind of experiences they're bringing to the table, or maybe when you're not as clear about exactly what the position needs, then I think, we need to have human involvement in that, interpreting those experiences and education, and of course, making final decisions in the process. But where we can use it to speed up those recruiting processes, I'm all in.
Jody, how is AI changing the way employees learn at work?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things it can do is can also help personalize, and we can use AI to help us with, looking at really one individual's role, what their skill gaps are, what their development interests are, what their career goals are, right? That can help us to maybe create better learning plans or better career paths for people, and that can also make it feel more relevant to people and more useful. It also, of course, is increasing the speed of learning with which we can grasp and, take on tougher subjects by using more graphics or videos or more engaging learning for people as well.
I think too, we see some organizations are deploying this opportunity for people to practice. So if I'm a leader and I have to
Mm,
have a crucial conversation with someone, they've set up some ways in which I can say, this is what I'm going to say to this employee. And AI will come back and you can say, you know, be sad with me, be agreeable with me, disagree with me, and it can spit back what somebody might say to you, and then
yeah.
you have a chance to practice what that dialogue is going to look like, which I find really interesting that you can use it almost in that coaching way. Again,
Right.
we always say with that caveat that we know that AI hallucinates. We know AI might do some things that you want to stop and ask yourself, is that legal? Is that ethical? Is that the way I would really do it? But it does give people a chance to have a little bit of practice. The other thing I see, I mean, I've been in learning and development for more than 3 decades, and there's so much time we used to spend making up scenarios. And they were always,
Mm.
I'm going to be honest, they were terrible. Sue goes into the branch. She has 500, and then nobody wanted to role play because it was so ridiculous. AI can help you with, like, help me create a real scenario in which this would happen. The other thing it will do is if you have developed something, you can put that into AI, whether it's, you know, chat or it's Claude or whatever system you're using, and say, if I am a visual learner, what would make this training more um, effective for me? If I'm a tactical learning learner, what
Yeah.
could enhance this training? So you can also use it to help take what you've built and take it to that next level.
Yeah.
So it's,
I love that.
yeah, great enhancement.
There's a lot of information out there about AI, and we just shared a lot ourselves. It can make it really overwhelming and difficult to know where to start. So, Michelle, what's a smart first step for HR teams that are just starting to explore AI?
Yeah. So, one thing to think about is run a 3-month controlled pilot. So, pick one department. How are we going to use AI in this department? What's our policy procedure around it? And then run a 3-month pilot. Check it out, see how that works. Think about having an AI steering committee that really has like HR, IT, your legal system, maybe some of your business units, and have those individuals start to build that governance around how you're going to utilize AI. And again, before you even jump into AI, stop and think about these layers. First of all, what's going to make us more efficient? What's going to save us time? What's going to reduce the errors? So look at it from an efficiency standpoint while looking at, let's not do it the same way we always did it, just with a new tool. And then think about effectiveness. What makes us more effective if we utilize AI? And then that next part is really how do we make sure we have an experience that's a good experience for everybody involved? So if you track those things and look at it from that perspective, I think that's a great first step.
And Jody, what guardrails should HR put in place before rolling out AI solutions?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the most important things is to have a company policy around AI, right? What is acceptable use of it? What's the process for human oversight that you will incorporate? And then also testing and monitoring of results that you'll have in using it as well too. You don't just want everyone in your organization randomly choosing their own AI tool and uploading company information to chat gpt and microsoft copilot and this that and the other, but have a designated tool for the company that everyone um, is using and keeping internal information safe. So, of course, especially for HR, that's important to protect information that you don't want available to everyone out there, even your own employees, much less the outside world as well too. So having those guardrails around it, when you can use it and how you can use it, and consistently applying them, I think are really important for all of us.
And we talked too about the human aspect, right? Making sure we have human eyes on it. It makes me think of an example that I've shared previously in some training I was doing around AI. There was an organization and they let AI create their job posting. You might have heard about this. And they let AI do the job posting. And then the person decided it needed to be jazzed up a bit. So it
Oh.
basically they prompted AI to make this more enticing. So AI decided the way to make it more enticing was to offer unlimited PTO
Oh,
for
oh.
an organization that had 2 weeks vacation and a week of sick time. That was very enticing. No one checked it. It was posted. The person who went through the interview process, nobody noticed it. Person got their offer letter and was like, where's my unlimited PTO? Oops. Now what do you do? You've got a
Yeah.
candidate who thought they were getting unlimited PTO, and I'm pretty sure I don't know what the decision was, but I'm pretty sure it was not to change the company policy and suddenly have unlimited PTO for the whole organization.
Right.
Right? Probably not the answer they got to. So again, it's why one of the guardrails is where is your human critical thinking in the process? Because yeah, thanks ChatGPT. Unlimited PTO is really great enhancement and a great enticement, but it's not the reality. And so
Mm.
making sure we have that human touch is so critical.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we surprisingly haven't really talked about this yet. For many workers, the biggest concern is that AI is going to take their jobs. Jody, how can HR help employees feel confident and not threatened by AI?
Teach them, train them, encourage them, right? Create AI experts in your organization. And if you as an individual are concerned about your role, the first thing I'd be doing is becoming an expert in AI, right? To show the value you can add to the process. So position it as a tool for support, not replacement, I think, and talk about it as a positive on how it can help us be faster, reduce the tedious work, and focus on adding value at a higher level. So,
I was also reading recently that a lot of college graduates are very concerned. College students are concerned that they're not going to have internship opportunities because
yeah.
AI is going to take those. So I think as HR professionals too, it's critical that we don't lose sight of the fact that we need internships and interns in our pipeline. That's our pipeline to candidates for the future. We need entry level employees so that we can give them the opportunity to advance. Because if we replace every intern with with AI, and we start every entry level position with AI, at some point we don't have a pipeline of talent.
Mhm.
Well, thank you both for talking to me about AI today, and thank you all viewers for joining us to listen in. If you have any questions or are in need of a partner for your HR and talent development initiatives, whether they're AI assisted right now or not, please reach out to us at Purple Ink. We would love to help.